Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, the show that brings you up to date with the week that was. Here are the top headlines. India's GDP growth hits decade low of 5% in 2012 to 13. Kingfisher losses widen as airline stays grounded. And GMR posts net profit after 2 successive years of losses. India's economy grew 5% in the year ending March, the slowest in a decade. Growth in the Jan to March quarter was 4.8%, down from 5.1% a year ago. During the year, agriculture grew 1.9%, manufacturing 1%, and trade and communication sector at 6.4%. The per capita national income in real terms during 2012 to 13 is estimated to have risen to 39,168 rupees, with a growth rate of 3%. According to experts, the Indian economy is poised for a gradual revival in 2013 on the back of higher investments and foreign direct investment. Moving on to the grounded Kingfisher airline, the losses for the airline widened as it remains grounded. It reported a net loss of 2,141 crore rupees against 1,151 crore rupees for the same quarter the previous year. The airline had no sales for the reporting quarter. For the full fiscal, it posted a loss of 4,001 crore rupees. The airline's licence was suspended in October last year. Though it stands expired, the licence can be renewed within 2 years. The lenders' consortium, headed by State Bank of India, is readying to move to Debt Recovery Tribunal to sell KFA's assets and recover the money. The shares of the company closed at 6 rupees, down 5%. Next up is GMR results. The company swung to profits for the first time after posting losses for 2 successive years. It reported a profit of 579 crore rupees for the March quarter. For the full year, the company made a profit of 88 crore rupees. The March quarter follows 9 successive loss-making quarters. The company also took a year-long investment holiday during which it didn't bid for any new projects. The company's airport division started posting profits after the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India allowed a 346% increase in airport tariffs. The share was up 2% at the end of the day at 21 rupees. Mahindra & Mahindra, India's biggest utility vehicle manufacturer, posted a 1.7% increase in net profit, beating expectations. The net profit stood at 889 crore rupees against 874 crore rupees a year ago. The profits were on the back of lower raw material cost and higher utilities vehicle sales, offsetting the poor tractor sales. The sales stood at 10,350 crore rupees for the March quarter. The board recommends 250% dividend of 12 rupees 50 paise per share and a special 10% dividend of 50 paise per share. The company expects the demand for tractors to pick up in the current fiscal year. However, the utilities vehicles demand may not expand as rapidly. Cognizant Solutions overtook Infosys as the country's second-largest IT services firm by revenue, according to Gartner. It experienced the highest growth among the top 5 IT companies, with an increase of 20% in 2012. Tata Consultancy Services remained the largest Indian IT service provider. TCS closed in the top 10 companies worldwide, just behind Hitachi. Azim Premji promoted Wipro retained its global ranking of 31, while HCL was placed at 41. The top 5 Indian IT companies grew 13% in 2012. Industry body NASSCOM expects the sector to grow anywhere between 13 to 14% in FY14. Following yesterday's fall, the rupee continued its downward spiral after the GDP data was released. The economy grew at 4.8% for the March quarter, dragging the full fiscal growth to 5%. The rupee was trading at an 11-month low of 56.69 per dollar. Traders say that continued dollar demand from state-run banks for defence payment is helping the dollar. The weak economic growth data has dashed hopes of a rate cut in 17th of June policy review. Now some stories in brief. Next up is the aviation sector. Jet Airways has planned to repay $500 million of debt this fiscal. With that, the company plans to lower its total borrowings to $1.5 billion. The airline has plans to raise $300 to $500 million by way of aircraft leasing and sales. Jet is also contemplating placing another round of Boeing 737 orders that will cost the company $5 billion for 50 planes. Earlier, Etihad Airways had agreed to buy a 24% stake in Jet Airways for $379 million. Lastly, the markets, which fell the most in a day since March 2012. The Sensex and Nifty fell nearly 2% on Friday, their biggest single-day percentage fall since March 2012. Lenders like ICICI Bank led the fall as the GDP data was in line with expectation, lowering hopes for a rate cut. The Sensex fell 455 points to end at 19,760, and Nifty shed 138 points to end at 5,985. RBI Governor D. Subbarau's comment that retail inflation is still high is also adding to the cautious mood. And that's all we have for you. Thanks for watching.